Okay, so in today's video we're going to have a look at part 5 of the reading and use of English section of the Cambridge Certificate of Proficiency in English, the C2 exam. Again, which I've become a bit obsessed with lately. What is part 5? It's called the multiple choice reading task. So basically you have a long text followed by 6 multiple choice questions. Multiple choice meaning there are A, B, C, D, 4 choices from which you have to choose. And there are only 6 questions, but each correct answer is worth 2 marks. So even though this part of the exam takes quite a long time and there are only 6 questions, like in part 4, there are 2 marks awarded to each correct answer. I guess we'll just get on with it. We're going to do it a little bit different today. I'm just going to read from the PDF. I'm going to make it as natural as I possibly can, be jumping between the text and the question and trying to show how I would find the correct answer. So without further ado, let's get on with it, I suppose. Okay, so here we go. This is how I'm going to do this part. So there's a lot of debate here. I think most examiners would probably say the best way to do this is to read the article through and then look at the questions. You know, you're going to be pressed for time by this part of the exam. You're up to part 5. And I think if you're at proficiency level, really, I'm going to show you my technique. And to be honest, I think it really applies to first certificate and advanced for this section of the exam. I just go straight to the questions. They go in chronological order in this part of the exam. So we know that they're going to ask a question about the first paragraph. So the title is Blogging, Confessing to the World. I mean, if you read 6 paragraphs of writing, you're just going to be very confused, anxious for time. I think we should know what we're reading for. I'm just going to go straight to the first question. The first question says, why does the writer describe a website about public check-ins in the first paragraph? We've got the 4 options there, right? Maybe what is a good idea is just try to form your own idea. Why does the writer describe a website about public check-ins in the first paragraph? Why is he doing that? Well, let's read the first paragraph. Let's go back here and have a look at it. And it says, some time ago, a website highlighted the risk of public check-ins. And we want to know why he's talking about this. Okay? So public check-ins, online announcements of your whereabouts. Okay, the site's point was blunt. You may think you are just telling the world, hey, I'm at this place, but you are also advertising your out and aboutness to all kinds of people everywhere. Not all of them people you might like to bump into. Okay, so the point is here that there is a website saying that you know, it's not necessarily a good idea that you announce to the world through their website where you are, no? Showing that you're in a certain place which is open to the public. Obviously because, you know, there are dangerous people out there who might use that information against you. Remember the question. Let's bear in mind what the question is. It says, why does the writer describe a website about public check-ins in the first paragraph? So, first of all we know is why the website speaks about these things, no? Or what they're trying to tell people. They're telling people it's potentially dangerous to announce to the whole world where you are and how often you're out, no? This appeared to confirm the growing awareness that there might be a downside to all the frantic sharing the web has enabled. This appeared to confirm the growing awareness that there might be a downside to all the frantic sharing the web has enabled. The growing awareness. So that is suggesting that people were already conscious that this was a problem, and this website was kind of confirming that. the vast new opportunities to publish any and every aspect of our lives to a potentially global audience hold out all sorts of tantalizing possibilities, wealth, fame. So we plunge into the maelstrom of the internet, tossing confessions, personal photos, and stories into a digital vortex. Too late, we realize that the water is crowded and treacherous, and we are lost. Let's have a look at the options. A, to reinforce concerns already felt by some people. That doesn't look bad, does it? To reinforce concerns. So there was already a growing awareness that this was potentially dangerous, no? And this website kind of goes along with that. They're trying to warn the public about announcing where they are in every moment of the day. B, to remind readers to beware of false promises. I'm not really sure what false promises there were. To explain that such sites often have a hidden agenda. The website about public check-ins in the first paragraph. No, I don't think that website, the website that's talking about public check-ins, has a hidden agenda. No, definitely not. They're trying to show people the dangers of public check-ins. And D, to show that the risks of internet use are sometimes overestimated, that people think it's more dangerous than it is. I don't think that was the idea either. I'm pretty sure it's A, to reinforce concerns already felt by some people. No? Because we go back to that point there where he says, this appeared to confirm the growing awareness that there might be a downside to all the frantic sharing the web has enabled. So this website is sort of reaffirming what people already were starting to think. No, that there could be some dangers involved with telling people where you are all the time. Yeah, I think I'd go along with that. I think that's A. Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's A. Let me know what you think. Okay, now we know in number 32 that we're talking about the second paragraph, so we know the information's there. Let's read what it's asking for. It says, what is the writer's attitude to online pioneers mentioned in the second paragraph? So you can look at the options if you want. I think I would just read the second paragraph and try to form my own idea. So what is the writer's attitude to online pioneers mentioned in the second paragraph? So he talks about pioneers and we want to know what his opinion is of them. So, depressing perhaps, but don't give up. This future has a map drawn for us years ago by a reckless group of online pioneers. Well, initially, what is he saying about these pioneers? That they're reckless? No, they're people who didn't consider the dangers, perhaps. If you're reckless, you don't consider the dangers. You do things sort of impulsively. And but he's also saying that that's a good thing, no, isn't it? This future has a map drawn for us years ago by a reckless group of pioneers. So it's almost like saying that the problems that you might encounter on the internet have already been discovered by these pioneers, I think, more or less. We'll see what it says. In the early days of the web, they sailed these waters and located all the treacherous shoals, groups of fish. Yeah, so they found all the problems. The first people who went out onto the internet and did crazy things found all of the potential problems before we had to find them for ourselves, I guess is what they're saying there. They got fired from their jobs. Yeah, that never happens anymore. They got fired from their jobs, found and lost friends, and navigated celebrities' temptations and perils, all long before the invention of social networking. Right, yeah, okay. These pioneers, the first wave of what we now call bloggers, have already been where the rest of us seem to be going. Before their tails scroll off our collective screen, it's worth spending a little time with them. After all, those who cannot learn from history are doomed to repost it. They're doomed to repeat it. Little play on the expression there, repost it. Yeah. So I guess what they're saying here is that the early bloggers, these pioneers as they call them, kind of showed what can happen when you share all of your information with the world. No, they showed that you can get fired from your job, you can lose friends. Yeah, all of those problems we don't encounter anymore. Yeah. So, okay, let's have a look at the options in 2. What is the writer's attitude to the online pioneers mentioned in the second paragraph? He is concerned by the risks they took. He's concerned, so he's worried about them. I don't think so. I don't think he's worried about them. He appreciates their unprecedented achievements. That sounds pretty good. I think he sounds pretty appreciative, knowing that he's saying that they have mapped out sort of the potential problems for us all now that we all have Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, things like that. You know, you have to be careful about what you're sharing with the world. And these people should have showed us what can happen in the early days. Yeah, he admires their technical skills. I don't think any technical skills were mentioned. He is impressed by the extent of their cooperation. Who did they cooperate with? I didn't see any evidence for that. I'm pretty sure it's B. He appreciates their unprecedented achievements. Yeah, I think so. Yeah, he thinks that they helped to map out all the potential problems for us of social networking before social networking existed. The bloggers sort of went where no one had been before. I'm ready to move on to the third question. Let's have a look. What does the writer suggest about Justin Hall in the third paragraph? Okay, what does so again, we know we've got to read the third paragraph. What does the writer suggest about Justin Hall in the third paragraph? So again, I'm not going to look at the options. I'm not interested in what he directly says about Justin Hall. I'm thinking about the connotation, the implication of what he is saying. What does he suggest about Justin Hall in the third paragraph? So we go to paragraph 3 and let's have a look at it. It says, in January 1994, Justin Hall, a 19-year-old student, began posting to the WWW, as it was then known, the World Wide Web, something inhabited by grad students, scientists, and a handful of precocious teens like him. Okay. I guess if he's calling him precocious, that could be a suggestion, but I don't know. We'll see. The web had been invented by CERN, at CERN, the International Physics Lab in Switzerland. Yeah, where they're doing the experiments with the particle acceleration. And Brian Cox is there. Okay. So the physics lab in Switzerland, so researchers could more easily share their work. Hall saw something else, an opportunity to share his life. Link by link, he built a hypertext edifice of autobiography, a dense ticket of verbal self-exposure leavened with photos and art. In January 1996, on a dare, he began posting a daily blog, and readers flocked to the spectacle of a reckless young man pushing the boundaries of this new medium in every direction at once. I guess what he's suggesting is that what he was doing was like new, daring, bold, reckless, that he was sharing all of his personal details, and that he was doing things that nobody had done before. He was pushing the boundaries of this new medium in every direction at once. I don't know. Let's have a look at the options in 33. What does the writer suggest about Hall in the third paragraph? He was unusually innovative in his approach. Yeah, I'd say he was innovative, and that it was unusual. It was a new medium, that he was pushing the boundaries. No, that sounds innovative to me. That sounds pretty good, actually. B, his work was popular for the wrong reasons. Well, it says people flocked to see all of his personal information that he was putting out there, but it doesn't really say the reasons that it was popular. So I don't think it's for right or wrong reasons. It's just a fact. So I don't think it's B. He inspired others writing in different fields of study. Again, I didn't really see any evidence that he inspired anyone. So I'm not inclined to say C either. His work displayed considerable literary skill. Not really. I mean, he's saying there was a lot of writing, a lot of personal information, and a hypertext edifice of personal information, I think is what he said. I'm pretty sure he's innovative. He's innovative in his approach. Hall saw something else, an opportunity to share his life. He saw an opportunity. He innovated. He built a hypertext edifice of autobiography, a dense thicket of verbal self-exposure, leaven with photos and art. I don't think he's saying that it's particularly literally skillful. Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's A. I'm pretty sure that's A. He was unusually innovative in his approach. Okay, let's have a look at the next one. What point is exemplified by the references to Hall's project in the fourth paragraph? What point is exemplified by the references to Hall's project in the fourth paragraph? Okay, so I'm going to try not to look at the answers here, so the possible answers. What point is exemplified by the references to Hall's project in the fourth paragraph? So they're going to talk about Hall's project. We have to see what kind of point they're trying to make. Why are they referencing his project? So 1, 2, 3, 4. Hall's ethos was absolute. Cross his path and you could appear on his site. No topic was taboo. Certainly this was the work of an exhibitionist, but there was also a rigour and beauty to his project that only a snob would refuse to call art. One day, though, visitors to Hall's site discovered his homepage gone, replaced with a single anguished video titled Dark Night. His story tumbled out. He'd fallen spectacularly in love, but when he started writing about it on his site, he was told, either the blog goes or I do. Okay. He'd published his life on the internet. Hall protested, "It makes people not trust me." The blog went, but the dilemma persists. Sharing online is great, but if you expect your song of yourself to make people want to be with you, you'll be disappointed. Imagine that your significant other in 2021 tells you to delete your social media. It's me or Facebook. Gotta... I don't know. Okay, so what's the point being made there? I guess that there could be ramifications for sharing all of your life on the internet, that people are not going to be necessarily happy about you talking about your life and their life on the... I don't know. I'm not really sure. Let's have a look at the options. Okay, so 34, it says, people usually dislike exhibitionists. That seems too specific. Especially as exhibitionist has lots of different meanings. Yeah, I think that seems too specific. Someone's life can be a form of art. Again, I really don't think that was the main point. No, doesn't sound right. Relationships are always a private matter. Again, I don't think they say anything so... No, I hope D's right. Being too open may be counterproductive. Yeah. No? I think that's what the point is. No, that if you're sharing everything online, that I think it said towards the end of the paragraph, something like that. If you expect that it will make people want to be with you, then you may be disappointed or something like that. Yeah, so I guess like you're sort of sharing everything online, hoping that everyone will have like some affinity with you, but it can have the opposite effect. Yeah, it can be counterproductive. Yeah, I'm pretty sure about that one. I'm going to move on. D. Okay, what does the account of Armstrong's later career suggest about blogging? Okay, let's not look at the options. I'm not going to focus on the options. What does it suggest about blogging? What does the account of Armstrong's later career suggest about blogging? About blogging specifically. So I'm guessing it's in the next paragraph. In 2002, Heather Armstrong, a young web worker in Los Angeles, had a blog called Deuce. Occasionally, she wrote about her job at a software company. One day, an anonymous colleague sent the address of Armstrong's blog to every vice president at her company, including some whom she'd mocked, and that was the end of her job. Those who study the peculiar social patterns of the networked world have a term to describe what was at work here. They call it the online distribution effect. That feeling so many of us have when we can get away with saying things online that we'd never dream of saying in person. Yeah, this is like I've heard this being referred to as, or people comparing this to road rage, that people get very angry inside their car because they feel a degree of separation from the other drivers. So it's kind of the same on the internet. You'll really rant and rave at someone and insult them, and you just never do that in public, in person. No. Our digital lives are interwoven with our real lives. When we pretend otherwise, we risk making terrible, life-changing mistakes. I don't know. What does it say about her later career? What does the account of Armstrong's later career suggest about blogging? Does that mention her later career? No, maybe we have to read the next paragraph. Armstrong's saga had a happy ending. Okay, maybe it's in here. Yeah. Though she was upset by the experience and stopped blogging for several months afterwards, she ended up getting married and restarting her blog with a focus on her new family. Today, she is a star in the burgeoning ranks of the mummy bloggers. And her writing supports her household. Once a poster child for the wages of web indiscretion, she has become a virtuoso of managed self-revelation. What Armstrong has figured out is something we would all do well to remember. The web may allow us to say anything, but that doesn't mean we should. So what does it suggest about the future of blogging? I'm not really sure. That we have to be more cautious or something like that? I don't know. What does Armstrong's later career suggest about blogging? It is important to choose an appropriate audience. Yes, maybe, I guess. That you don't, I guess if you're in a job and, you're talking about people, you're mocking people that work with you, the audience that are following that, you might get a big following, but eventually it will get back to the people you're working with because of the online distribution effect. And so maybe that's not the audience you should be focusing on. Rather, being a mommy blogger, sort of talking about your family and talking about bringing up kids, that's doing okay. And I imagine she's not mocking her kids. And if she is, they're kids, they can't fire her. Maybe it's A. It is possible to blog safely and successfully. Yeah, maybe that as well, actually. Yeah, maybe it's more B. Because she did it the wrong way, but then she's found a way to do it, and she's now making money again, and it's working out okay. Yeah, maybe A is too specific. It's important to choose an appropriate audience. It doesn't actually mention the audience much, does it? I suppose. Even though I guess you could interpret A, but I guess it doesn't directly say A, does it? Whereas B, yeah, that looks more like the correct answer to me now. B. It's possible to blog safely and successfully, yeah, because that's what she's doing now, even though she experienced the opposite beforehand. Okay, it is vital to consider the feelings of others. It doesn't actually say that, though probably it would have been a good idea. I don't think it actually says that. It is best to avoid controversial subjects when blogging. Again, it might be in some contexts. Certainly in her context it might have been, but I don't think it says that. I think the only one it actually says is B, really. That's the only thing that it kind of suggests directly in some way. No, that it is okay. You can blog in a safe way. It has a happy ending. She got married. She restarted her blog with a focus on her new family. She's a star. She's figured out something we should all do well to remember. The web may allow us to say anything, but that doesn't mean that we should. Yeah, so that's pretty difficult. I would say it's B. I would say that it's possible to blog safely and successfully. Yeah, I think that's the only one that it's very clear. I think that's the only possible answer, really. Yeah. I'll check the answers, by the way. I'll leave a link underneath just so you can check the answers, but or I'll write them into the description, but yeah, I'm pretty sure it's B. Okay. 36. In this article, the writer's aim is to illustrate a point, defend a preposition. God. To defend a proposition, describe developments, compare arguments. Illustrate a point. I guess so. I think the whole point of the article is kind of just to say, well, there are lots of potential pitfalls, potential dangers with blogging and sharing your personal details on the internet, but you can do it in a good way. You've just got to be careful. I think it's illustrating a point because she gives like several examples. She speaks about 2 different early bloggers. Yeah, I wouldn't say A is a bad idea. Defend a proposition. What is she proposing? I don't think she's proposing anything happens. That sounds like you're proposing some form of legislation, a law or something, and she's saying, I don't think she's making a proposition. She's kind of giving people advice maybe, but I don't think there's a proposition. Describe developments. No, I think it's more than that. I don't think she's just saying this happened, this happened, this happened, this is the way things are. She's sort of saying how one can do things wrong and one can do things wrongly or rightly. No, correctly or incorrectly. I'm leaning towards A. Compare arguments. I don't think there's any arguments being compared there. I'd go with A. Yeah, I'll leave the answers in the description, as I said, but yeah, I think it's fairly clear that I've got all of them right. Okay, let me know what you thought. Leave a comment, whatever. And I'll make more of these, I guess. This was a long one. God, I've been talking for half an hour. Goodbye.